everyone, and welcome to my Black Desert Online Choose Your Class Guide series. Before I jump right into it, I want to explain that these guides are meant to help new, returning, or even veteran players choose their class most effectively in BDO. The first thing a new player needs to understand is that every class in the game is more than viable in both PvP and PvE. It's important not to get caught up on what people would consider good, bad, or even meta, so you can focus on what's really important. That is, the class, playstyle, and theme that's right for you, the player, to enjoy. Choosing a class in BDO is perhaps the most important decision a new player will make. You commit to playing for hundreds, sometimes thousands of hours on the chosen class in all aspects of the game. Because of this, the class should be chosen based on the theme you are looking for and the playstyle you can manage. The metagame shifts in BDO weekly, so what is considered good or bad will vary wildly by patch. These guide videos will focus on the primary themes of each class and what makes them unique in PvP and PvE. I very deliberately will stay away from metagame talk as it will only lead you astray. Below each video in the description, if there is a content creator who can be trusted to give information on the class, I will list them so that you can easily access reputable sources of information on content on the classes that you're most interested in. I wanted to give a special shout out to all of the expert players that helped make this video series possible. In order to find the wealth of knowledge in these videos, I went to every one of the best players on their respective classes and specs in the game. The information you receive here is the most accurate based on players' opinions who have spent thousands of hours and years of their time mastering these classes. They very kindly shared their expertise, and I have taken what they have said and condensed it into words that a new player could understand. As I said before, if these players have a creator link of any kind, such as YouTube or Twitch, I have included that below in the video description so that you can reach each of them directly and explore their content. Now, firstly, I want to explain how players should go about choosing their class in BDO. For starters, you want to choose the role you might play in PvP. Even if you aren't interested in PvP, it's good to pick a class that fits your playstyle. Whether that be an assassin, support, frontline tank, or backline damage, make sure you have a good idea of the general role you would like to fill within the world of BDO. Next, choose the class that has the coolest theme that speaks to you. As a general rule, if you look at a class and say, "Dang, that looks super cool," it's probably a safe bet. After that, simply choose the spec that fits the playstyle that best suits you, and you are on your way. Now, in order to understand each class and make an educated decision based on these guides, you will need to know some Black Desert Online vocabulary. Succession versus Awakening. Every class in Black Desert has 3 weapons: main hand, offhand, and awakening. The offhand is used in both Succession and Awakening, so you don't really need to worry about that. However, the difference between Succession and Awakening is important to understand. If you choose the Awakening path, your character gets access to the Awakening weapons and abilities. This is an entire extra skill tree in addition to the main tree you start the game with. Your pre-Awakening skills and abilities remain the same, and you can take their final absolute versions. In Succession, you lock access to the Awakening skill tree and weapon. However, your pre-Awakening abilities get significantly buffed and gain extra effects and animations they would not acquire if you took Awakening. The entire idea of these two options is to allow a player to take a class they thoroughly enjoy and pick a playstyle they most want to play or specialize in. We will cover both Succession and Awakening for each class in the video series, so you know what to expect for each one. Skill floor. This is the skill required to pick up and play the class at a competent level, or how difficult the class is to play right out of the gate as a new player. Other good terms for this that you may have heard are barrier to entry and learning curve. This has nothing to do with how hard the class is to master or play long term. Skill ceiling. This is the highest possible skill the class can be played at. The skill ceiling accounts for the amount of depth the class has and the amount of mastery you need in order to play the class at the highest possible level. The higher the skill ceiling, the longer you will be able to play the class and keep discovering new things you never knew you could do before. Keep in mind that it is possible for a class to have a low skill floor, meaning that it would be easy to pick up, and have a high skill ceiling, meaning it would be very difficult to master. Next up, there are a couple of combat terms you will hear me use a lot, so I wanted to define them quickly. Super armor means that you cannot be CC'd except by grabs, but you can take damage. Frontal guards means that you are shielded from both damage and CC, but only from the front. You should think of frontal guards as an invisible shield in front of you while casting skills. Grabs can still CC you out of frontal guards, and as I said, you are vulnerable from behind. APM. Actions per minute. Or in simpler terms, the amount of buttons you are going to need to be pushing per minute on the class. Lower APM classes require less key inputs per minute than high APM classes. One quick thing to note before we get started is that there is a star ranking on each trait, and this does not in any way imply if the class is good or bad. A perfect example is Succession Berserker, who might have gotten low stars for APM, skill floor, and skill ceiling, but is absolutely an amazing class in just about every aspect of the game. The class is fantastic, it just happens to have a low APM requirement, it's pretty easy to get into, and it's not crazy difficult to master. Okay, now that you're up to speed on the terminology, I hope you guys enjoy the video series that I have prepared for you here, and I wish you all the best in choosing your class and spec in the world of Black Desert.